Good evening. We're going to call to order the Downtown Strong Advisory Board meeting today, Tuesday, February 24, 2026 at 5:15 p.m. Instead of Monday. First call to order is the approval of the minutes from our October 27th meeting. You all had a chance to review those?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody make a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
All in favor, accept the minutes?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved and accepted. Next, we have the election of the chair and vice chair for the 2026 year. Sean?
Madam Chair, if you don't mind, I'll take over for you and
Yes.
use you for 1 minute. If the board would like to elect a new chair and vice chair, you're more than welcome to. If the board would like to continue having Ms. Joanne Pope Clark serve as our chair and Brian Hudson serve as our vice chair, we're more than welcome. We just need nominations from the board. That's if Brian and Joanne want to continue to serve.
Nominate them quick before they change their mind.
That's what we always say.
I nominate the existing president and vice president.
I accept.
Okay. Now you guys have to accept.
I accept.
I accept. No problem.
We'll call for a vote. Roll call the vote. All agree, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that same likewise. Motion passed. Madam Chair, I'll pass it back to you.
All right, so now we have the introduction of the new advisory board members. LaTanya DuBois from Eagle Eye Management. She was unable to be here tonight for a conflict. I guess I can give a brief introduction to her. I have known her now for 2 years. She was my instructor for the Launch Nightdale program. She teaches entrepreneurship, wellness, CEO wellness classes, and she's at the Junction now. She's getting ready to start a Launch Nashville cohort next month, and I will be serving as a mentor to her program, to the new cohort members. And a great person. She's actively trying to get involved in the community, so I know she's going to be involved. She has a busy schedule, but I know she definitely is going to be involved as much as she can. And next we have Michael Acott with Trash to Treasure. And would you like to give us an introduction?
My name's Michael Acott. I'm the owner of Trash to Treasures on T. I have been on advisory boards for Richmond, Virginia, the Historical Society, as well as down in New Orleans as well. I've been around in the business now for 7 years, and I have thoroughly enjoyed being here in Nashville and looking forward to serving on the board.
Okay. And next we have Slade Woodard. Excuse me.
So, I currently work as a senior technical engineer. I work with a myriad of companies from, smaller insurance companies all the way up to broker dealers like Ameriprise, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, in terms of working on their technical offerings. I've lived in Nashville for approximately 5 years. I've been attending these meetings for roughly 2 years.
Microphone.
That better?
Yes.
Okay. I've been attending these meetings for roughly 2 years or so. And I also worked on collecting a lot of information for the sidewalk repair project and identified roughly 240 blocks. So just happy to be here and looking forward to it.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the recommendation of additional $20,000 for funding sidewalk improvements in the MSD area, and I'm going to turn this over to Sean.
Madam Chair, thank you once again. Board, as you know, last year back on April 28, 2025, we made a recommendation to give the town $20,000 out of the MSD fund to go towards sidewalk repair, and that $20,000 donation pledge towards the repair would only be for sidewalk in the MSD area. We have come back with a cost estimate of over $123,801 that needs to be done. This was brought to the town council at their last meeting on February the 3rd. The council asked staff, myself and town manager Lanston, if we could come back to the MSD board to ask for an additional $20,000, now bringing your total to $40,000 towards only sidewalk in the MSD area. We have provided you with a Excel spreadsheet. That was last year's budget, right behind the agenda report. You also have this year's budget that Town Manager Lansing was able to provide you for your regular review this evening. This is the entire spreadsheet of everything in the MSD that has been cited needed to be replaced or repaired. So if the board finds it feasible to contribute another $20,000, the town council would greatly appreciate it. If the board does not find it feasible, then we will take the recommendation right now that the board did not find it feasible to do 40, to only do the 20 that we pledged last year for MSD funding. Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you now for deliberation.
Anybody have anything they want to say?
I have a few comments.
Okay.
I think, generally speaking, sorry, I don't realize how quiet I am. We've identified a large number of these blocks in the MSD. I know I personally did, and I know that Randy in Public Works also identified a large number of these blocks in this area. When they added the additional $20,000, were there any comments in terms of, maybe the estimate was off, or was it simply a matter of, 20,000 is obviously a relatively low portion, but was that more of the calculus there?
Well, I think when the Downtown Strong Advisory Board took this up last, you didn't have enough funds to do all the sidewalks in the MSD, but you decided that you would contribute 20,000 as a start, not knowing if we'd tackle them all at 1 year, but we had them all measured up, and it seems like there are funds available between the MSD fund and the town's Powell money to take care of all the bad sidewalks in the MSD, and that's what the council set out to do. So, but not knowing what the total quantity was until we had it all totaled up and brought to the council a few meetings back. And when they saw that a majority of the sidewalk throughout town needing replacement resides in the MSD district, they wanted to ask the board, see if you would reconsider and recommend a little more funding. Now, the MSD fund has about $180,000 in reserves. So the funding is there. Up to this point, really haven't had another project to spend it on, and this seems like a worthy one.
Absolutely, and I think looking through a lot of the documentation that I've requested, there's been at least 5 municipal reports made since 2008, and all of them talk about this need to revitalize this sidewalk in one format or another, whether that's basic repairs or expansion. And I think we've spoken a lot, or I should say the board has spoken a lot about the $50,000 that was used on the 2022 plan. And looking at the different reports listing the sidewalk, the Nashville Comprehensive Pedestrian Plan in 2008, the Nashville Economic Vitality Plan 2019, Downtown Strong 2020, Comprehensive Plan 21, and even the Parks and Recreation Plan in 22. I think we've actually spent quite a bit more than $50,000 to gather the amount of information that we've gotten here saying that we need to fix the sidewalk, because it's in all of those reports it's very prominent. So personally, I think thinking of how much effort we've already put into identifying this as a problem over the past several years, I think that the additional 20,000 makes sense.
So is there a time frame of when, once we make the recommendation and it's approved, is there a time frame for completion or start and completion?
I'll let Randy yield that one.
Yes, Joanne, there is. Bids are due tomorrow on sidewalk replacement. We sent it out to 13 contractors. I don't know how many are Smith, but we had a lot of interest in it. So we'll tabulate the bids, take them to the council at the March 3rd council meeting, and they'll award a contract for that. And then the contractor can begin after March 3rd, once we have a signed contract with them. So the council wants to proceed on 3 sidewalks along the Blooming Festival Parade to get those taken care of before the Blooming Festival Parade. And one of them is not an MSD sidewalk. It's East Washington between First Street and Alston Street on the north side. A lot of that sidewalk is original to probably 1920 or earlier. So a lot of it needs to be repaired. The other 2 are the first block of Body Street, South Body, and then South Alston Street. South Alston Street on the east side of Alston, not the CVS side. There's a lot of sidewalk. Well, again, that one wouldn't be MSD either. That would be just PAL funds. So the only MSD sidewalk would be Body Street between Washington and Church Street, that we would get done in time for the Blooming Festival Parade. But the deadline for all that work to be done is like June 15th, the entire list of sidewalks.
Oh, so the entire list, so all of those blocks will be done by June 15th, not just the corner of Alston and Bobby there.
Correct. They're supposed to be done by then. Well, we'll see. You know how contractors can, and weather plays a big part in that too. But if you don't put a completion date on it, they seem to drag forever.
Well, I definitely agree that the sidewalks would need to be repaired. I tried to walk at one point to try to do a run club or something, and I went down and it was just too much. So I definitely feel like it's definitely needed. You know, I don't see a problem with an additional $20,000 for that. Are y'all ready to vote on it?
Well, the only one quick question I have, are any of these panels, I mean, because I know we've got north side, Washington, south side, you know, and it looks like over here you've got some that are over at the admin building 120, which is Nash County. But, so is that county responsibility or is that ours? I'm just,
It's the towns, all the sidewalk. Now, we did luck out in that the DOT came through 2 years ago and redid all the ADA ramps. And they're also redoing a few on Washington as we speak in preparation of the overlay, the mill and overlay project of Washington Street from basically 64 all the way to Cooley Manor. And they did stretch beyond a few panels. So some of these we have identified, they've already replaced.
yeah, I have no objection to I'm walking many times.
Yeah, and I think generally speaking, it also kind of sends a message to the council. You'll have to excuse me, I'm tripping on my words. It sends a message to the council that we're good partners, right? And I think that it sounds like there's going to be more projects, more spending that we potentially want to do. And it would be beneficial if we could say, hey, in the past we had a similar situation like this where the town helped fund this project versus us doing it alone.
Okay. Are y'all ready to vote?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we add the additional 20,000 to the sidewalk fund to be able to present to the town council.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we will make that recommendation to the council for 40,000, additional 40,000, additional 20,000, excuse me. Additional 20,000 for a total of 40,000 to be allocated for the
I'll clarify,
sidewalk.
we're only giving you 40.
Yes, that's a correction there, please get that corrected. Okay. And next, we have the recommendation of additional 10 flower pots for the remaining light poles between Barnes Street and South Austin Street. And again, Sean, I'll turn that over to you.
Thank you once again, Madam Chair. As you know, last year, Ms. Hart did go out and talk to people in the Nashville area that wanted to see more baskets going down the entire Washington Street. The board was very courteous to allow that and also to allow those baskets to be installed. Right now, Town Manager Lance and myself see that there's still 9 missing poles right here in the main quarters between CVS and Faith Christian Ministries that do not have brackets. We think to make it more uniform to go along with the entire Washington Street, as the MSD agreed last year to extend the baskets, to put some on those 9 poles. So we have already talked with the company who had provided for us last time. Our planners, Jake Berbengarter, has sent us a quote. He said right now in your packet, 10 baskets could run us right at $19.90. The brackets $16.90 if those are the right bolts. The Public Works team will be going out over this week to measure those poles to make sure these bolts can fit. So when we order, we don't have to ship them back like we did last year when they sent the wrong bolts in. So we would like to ask the MSD to give us a flexible window of right at maybe $4,000 to approve, to take a recommendation to council to use MSD funding to order 9 to 10 more brackets. 9 on the safe side, 10 is the max, but we do have an additional bracket that was brought in last year that we did not use. So if it's usable on one of those poles, we'll need 9. If not, we'll need 10.
I would just like to say that I hope that we will approve this because I have received so many compliments. Friends from out of town and, friends who live here in Nashville, people who live here in Nashville, about how beautiful it made the town look. So I hope that we will consider approving that.
Is there any plans to continue on down Barnes instead of the one long look basket you guys have?
We have not at this time, but if the MSD would like for me to go get some additional quotes after we get this one to go down Bourne Street, at least to the junction, we wouldn't mind doing that. And
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fun if they were kind of like every other, just kind of scattered down that road.
And that's probably what we would do on Barnes, just stagger.
It's a tight road anyway with telephone poles. I mean, the one near me gets hit about every 6 months. Yes, that telephone pole is terrible. It has been knocked down 4 times in the last 5 years. So, it's bad. And one right there in the probation. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people take their mind off or whatever, but they get that thing off.
They're looking at your sign, Brian.
No, I think they're trying to avoid
So
the
I need the
probation
shirts.
office, and they failed to pay attention to the road. So, but no, I just think it would help add, especially when we're doing the sidewalks and everything, would help add to what we're trying to do with the town. Because, in my opinion, Nashville is about the blooming festival. It's about family, fun, and priorities of just being natural and being real. So to me, those are the ideas of what I get from the blooming festival. So to me, I think that's what we should focus on.
So just one thing to pay attention to, the baskets and the flowers planting on them, we're going to be taking them to Allen's Nursery first part of May to get planted. First part of April, so that they got about 8 weeks time before 4 weeks, I guess, before we put them out. So if we bring back pricing for additional ones, when's the next meeting?
It would be at the end of March, so it would be a tight window to try to work. So we probably would need to go ahead and do it all tonight.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
just if
thinking.
the MSD would consent to a wide range, if we could get the board to give us a wide range of funding to utilize, once we get a quote, I could send it to the board just for you to have in your records of adding on the additional ones, and then that'll be the one we take to council.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we had 5 more down Barnes,
Right.
to kind of help offset the fact that there's that more, it's just kind of.
We'll say 15 is the maximum, and we'll go by tomorrow and count from Faith Christians to the junction, staggering in the zigzag pattern.
That's fine.
So what would that take in amount to? Since we
Well,
get
you're probably looking
4,000,
at another 1,000,
Probably
probably
right.
another $1,800.
That's what I'm thinking. Probably about, let's say,
I'm looking at down at the bottom. You're looking at
39.
you cut that in half. 1690. That's 950. So I mean, easily $1,800 to $2,000. So, I mean, I think if we allowed 6,500, we would be in good shape.
Yeah, it would take it to $5,900,
$31.
yeah,
I support that.
For how many?
15.
15.
Just want to say a flat 6,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if we could get the board to make a recommendation for that.
Okay, so, we make a motion for 15 baskets and the, brackets and $6,000 is what the MSD will contribute for that. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept that motion.
I have a second.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor? All disagree? Motion accepted. And our next agenda item is allowance of using West Church Street parking lot as a staging area for the sidewalk repair project contractors.
Board, as you are aware, with the sidewalk repair coming in, the vendor, whoever wins the bid, will need a staging area. Town Manager Lance has had a few vendors that have come into town, measured, asking if they could use the West Church Street parking lot as a staging area. Right now, we do plan on having the DPW team go back to re-gravel, repave that lot. But if we do allow them to use that staging area, we will let them go first, and then once everything is done before the Blooming Festival, have our guys come back in, re-level it, re-smooth it, make it nice and neat for the Blooming Festival. So we're just asking the board if you're in agreement of letting the vendor who wins use it, just to give us a motion of approval so we can have it for the records.
Have any comments?
Unless the contractor will level it.
That's what I.
That'd be even better.
I mean, that's my thing.
Yeah, let's leverage that.
Put it back the way you found it.
I have a question. The Blooming Festival is in May, is that correct?
Yes,
Well, there's a week.
Yes. Now, when are you all planning to start the repairing of the sidewalks? Because I was saying, if you were in the middle of repairing the sidewalks when the Blooming Festival, when it's time for the Blooming Festival, what will you do about that?
Well, we're gonna make whoever we award contract to take care of those sidewalks that are along the parade route, and then they're gonna take a break. We don't want them in town for the Blooming Festival, nor do I think they'd wanna be in town with their machinery and equipment, so, we'll allow them to, leave and then come back after the Blooming Festival, which I'm sure won't be a problem with whomever we award the contract to.
So it'll just be repairing, you won't be taking up anything, you'll just be doing repairs.
Well, even that, I mean, they'll get done the sidewalk on East Washington, Alston Street, and that first block of Body Street. Then we'll pause the project, allow Blooming Festival to happen, and then they can come back into town and finish the rest.
All right, thank you.
Nancy, you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question for clarification about the re-graveling and the repaving. So of the Church Street lot, that would all be done after the Blooming Festival or after the contractors move their stuff and before the Blooming Festival?
It'll be before the Blooming Festival. We're gonna let them use that area to stage.
So you're not talking about just leveling, you're actually talking about repaving.
No, our guys are just gonna go back in and repack
They're gonna
it. Smooth it out and repack
Oh,
it.
not paving.
Yeah, pack it.
Packing.
And we're gonna tell the vendor, as Randy's town manager Lance said, that once it gets time for Blooming Festival, all equipment must be off the lot so that we can use for the patrons to come and park for the Blooming Festival.
So re-graveling also before the festival.
Right, they'll be packing what's down there, packing and get it leveled out.
So that includes re-graveling, I'm being stupid here.
No, just
Okay.
packing.
Just packing.
Yeah, pretty much
Thank
leveling,
you.
because right now you can tell from the snow, it's not level at all.
Right.
It's nowhere safe compared to where it was. And that's just because of all the snow and ice.
Okay. Anybody else? So do I have a motion to approve the winning vendor of the sidewalk improvement project, the use of the town public parking at West Church Street site as a parking stage area during the project phase? Motion.
I'll make a motion that we allow the vendor to use that at West Church Street.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's approved.
Madam Chair, we just got two announcements for you. As you guys know, the march is always the Downtown Main Street Conference. We do have funding if a board member would like to attend the Main Street Conference. It is from March 10th through the 12th in New Bern. If you would like to attend, please let us know. We plan to register tomorrow, and we wanted to make sure to see if there's any board member that wants to think about attending to let us know so we can get you registered. And also, that was it. That's the only announcement I had.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
I do have something just very quickly. I feel like, at least from what I've seen from prior meetings, that it seems like we have a lot of good ideas that sort of need a little bit more time to sort into, what I would think of as almost like an annual plan. And one thing that I would suggest, if everyone's open to it, is possibly having a deep work session scheduled. So that would be a session where we come in and purely work on trying to coordinate a plan for how we want to organize some of the projects we talked about, like beautification projects, different types of modifications to, maybe we want to do a crosswalk or something like that. It might be helpful to get all those ideas into a comprehensive plan that we can act on. A lot of the things we could act on before, that takes quite a bit more funding than we have. Right? So it may be a good idea to have a work session to make a plan of our own, at least for the year. That will kind of work in some of our ideas. It's just floating down.
Spring Hope does that, by the way. They have a similar board to you guys, and they needed time to just hash through stuff. So they have pretty regular work sessions that are, I don't even know if they're classified as public, but they be at a restaurant and hash stuff through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could technically be anywhere, but I think it would just be helpful to have, because the way these flow, maybe we have 10, 15, 20 minutes per item. In that setting, we'd have a better condensed walk to kind of go through things.
I would definitely be open to that. Just let me know, and y'all know my place is always available. We can do a work session anytime.
I'll volunteer our shop as well. We have
So we
an
can just-
upstairs area that we can find, I have coffee up there for everyone, so.
Nice spot.
So I think that's something we can definitely look into and come up with a date for us to meet.
I think maybe that we try to come just before the next meeting, if there's something that comes that's pending, or start thinking about some items that we want to address. And then we can just coordinate the time, just say, okay, Evelyn's got,
Can't
I
hear
got
you,
5
Brian.
ideas I need to get out. Yeah, saying like she's got, several ideas that she needs to be able to get out, and like that way we can get together and kind of brainstorm, for lack of better words.
How about if I send out an email, or Sean, can we send out an email of what dates, some possible dates that we can get on the calendar to meet, like I said, during the day?
We got 2 locations.
Okay.
I can send something out probably by the end of this week for some possible dates that we can look at. If whoever wants to be the first one to host, go in on social media. Whichever one wants to host first, just let us know, and we'll get everything set.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you. Anything else? All right, so our next meeting is March 24th, 2026 at 5:15. And if there's nothing else,
Board, the new board members, if you could hang around for about 2 minutes, Nancy Westbury wants to get a picture of you in for the newspaper.
that's it. I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good